Welcome back to the Sting of Scorpion C31, and today I'll be talking about the Paint Sisters. But first, a shout out to Super Kirby. He also makes some Kirby related videos such as myself, and a bunch of awesome and amazing content that I definitely recommend you to check out. So go check him out and consider subscribing to him. Do it or else you have a visit tonight from Drawcia as she does ASMR while drawing balls on balls. With that out of the way, let's get to it. The Paint Sisters. Drawcia. Drawcia is first introduced in Kirby Canvas Curse and is the main antagonist of Kirby Canvas Curse. She is a powerful sorceress born out of a mysterious painting, wanting to rule a world made out of paint and art. Japanese texts state that Drawcia was within her frame from a span of months to years. Furthermore, the Japanese texts state that Drawcia grew jealous of those in the real world. Slowly over time, the painting began to move, and eventually, Drawcia would then receive sentience and form. Drawcia would then use the power of the mighty magical paintbrush to turn Kirby and a few other Dreamlanders into balls, and Dreamland into a piece of artwork. The magical paintbrush is clearly no ordinary brush, as not only is this brush sentient, but this brush has the capabilities of transforming the world and opening portals. Unfortunately for Drawcia, she didn't anticipate Kirby grabbing the magical paintbrush that she already rudely discarded after doing its job. Along the way, Drawcia would attempt to destroy Kirby with paintings of Kracko, King Dedede, and Paint Roller. Each, however, utterly fail. With no other option left, Drawcia would then fight Kirby head-on, showing off her true dark colors from all those years being trapped within her frame. In the end, Drawcia is defeated, and peace is restored to Dreamland, while the magical paintbrush, done with its mission, fades away. In Kirby Triple Deluxe, we were thus introduced to Drawcia's separated sister, Paintra, who was said to be sleeping in her painting and grew sentient when she was rudely awakened by Tyranza. Paintra's description states that she was made by a mysterious brush, alluding to the magical paintbrush to be that very brush. I mean, the fact that Drawcia had the magical paintbrush within her grasp in the first place, it's no doubt this brush was what gave them their existence, most likely found in the same room. Moving along, Paintra's description then goes on to state that one must wonder if the artist regret giving her form, and that those long years being trapped within her frame had long turned to countless years, to the point that she was forgotten, now wanting revenge on the world for forgetting about her. Paintra's Japanese description is even a quote from Paintra herself, saying that she used to quote-unquote live in the world, implying that she and her sister may have had good intentions at first. Of course, Paintra, like Drawcia, is also defeated. In Kirby Star Allies, we were then introduced to Vividria, the youngest Paint sibling, whom probably got out of her painting from her willingness, and she does seem to hold negative intent just like her sisters. Despite being young, one of Vividria's descriptions states that she is a master artist. I will mention that in the Kirby of the Star comics, which takes place in a parallel universe, Vividria was instead stated to have been possessed by a Jamba Heart, and that unlike her older sisters, she actually had good intentions. But anyways, let's get back on track here. In-game, we do see there are more than one Vividria out there. Perhaps she was drawn more than once, who knows? But Vividria, unlike her sisters, actually got redeemed in the end. Vividria does seem to know who her sisters were, as her quote seems to mention how quote-unquote she will show her sisters, and how she wants to get into a good art school. Actually, in the Japanese version of her description, Vividria actually states older sisters rather than just sisters. Other than that though, that's all we get from these Paint Sisters. There are such theories to discuss about and whatnot, so let's get to it. One of the biggest theories out there is that Adeline, or Ado, when she was possessed by dark matter, drew Drawcia, Paintra, and Vividria. However, I find it odd for Adeline or dark matter to be the artist, being as these paintings were made countless years ago. Vividria existing as the youngest amongst them, Glacia, while not blood-related, seems to play a part in all this. The magical paintbrush, which has such capabilities of transforming the world, would Adeline even have that kind of knowledge, power, or skill? And Adeline or the Paint Sisters themselves give references to one another. Really, a more likely theory would be that the ancients made these paint sisters, as the ancients have the kind of knowledge and power to transform the world and open portals to other worlds, especially when you consider that they were made or traded to Floralia, the home of the people of the sky who have existed since the dawn of time, as these people could have definitely communicated with the ancients at some point. I mean, think about it, Taranza literally knew about Paintra. It's not confirmed, but you can definitely consider the possibility. Well, we pretty much are just about done here. The last thing I want to mention are the two aspiring art students. Adeline. Adeline, of course, is a human artist that came to Planet Popstar to study art. Just so you'd know, in the manga, Ado and Adeline are stated to be the same character, and that Ado is simply just a nickname. However, her origins remain a mystery and are debatable at best. Adeline is also apparently shy when it comes to eating in front of people. Paint Roller. Paint Roller is said to be the meanest of art students. Despite the object Paint Roller carries had been confirmed to be a brush by HAL themselves, it instead resembles a giant marker or a crayon in both official art and in-game. In Kirby's Avalanche, the brush is changed and recolored to look like a pencil. Isn't that a doozy? He was entrusted by King Dedede to hold a piece of the Star Rod, so I suppose he can't truly be the worst of the worst. Now, here's a fun fact. Did you know Drawcia was initially going to be a playable Dream Friend in Kirby Star Allies but got scrapped? Yep, there is a whole interview about this. I'll leave a link to a video of mine talking about all that in the description below. Anyways, with that, that's all there really is to know about the Paint Sisters. What are your thoughts on these Paint Sisters? Would you like to see them show up again in another Kirby game? Leave a like if you liked the video, and subscribe for more. Goodbye! Welcome back to the Sting of Scorpion.